everybody, and welcome back to another Mindful Mutt Moments. I have Bhakti here with me today, and I know we did speak a little about doing a nice relaxing head massage, but today I want to do with Bhakti a much longer massage, and it's a great way to just really connect in the present moment with our dogs, because we're going to not just pet them and feel their fur under our hands, but we're going to engage with them, feel their muscles and their bones, and just explore them, sort of landscape them. I like to call it landscaping because if you see a landscape with the hills and the valleys and the different textures and stuff, this is what our dogs are too, and we're really going to learn to sort of explore that. So this is something that I do a lot. We do a lot of, my dogs and I do a lot of hiking and are pretty active, so a nice massage is great. I like to teach them to do it to me, but it's really nice for me as well when I do it with them. So, and it's a wonderful way of connecting and relaxing and just dealing with all the stress and fear and anxiety that's going on. So let's begin, because we're gonna move through it somewhat quickly. Usually I take a long time to do this and I go nice and slow, but you'll get the idea. So follow along, or watch this later with your dog and do it. So I like to start just taking the breath in, centering myself, having my hand on Bhakti and petting her. Just taking a moment to connect to the present with her. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the bridge of the nose. I'm going to stroke right across her eyes, nice and slow, all the way down. And again, from the bridge of the nose. And just use gentle pressure. You'll get a feel for this as you do this with your dog. You'll get a feel what they like, what feels good. But what's most important is that you're feeling it. You're not doing it with saying, is this right or is this wrong or is it too much or too little? Just go with the feel. All the way down. Now, to start, let me move over a little bit. I'm going to start doing on the head, just like we did with last time. And the little bump on top of their head, their occipital bone here, all around that you'll feel behind it, on top of it, you'll feel sort of the spongy stuff. This is part of the muscles, and part of the muscles that work the ear and the head, and they tend to tense up a lot. So I'm using just the balls of my fingers, never the tips, just the balls of my fingers, and I'm giving small circular motion and just massaging. I'll come down into the ridge between her eyes, known as the stop, and just kind of massage down. I'll even then take my thumb, you can see, and come around to her jaw muscle. Now I spend a lot of time on this, even in the ear, even on the ear flaps, all the way up to the tip. I spend a lot of time doing this, but we'll move kind of quickly, just for the sake of time. So once I'm massaging the back, I then move down to her neck. And I'm going to give that neck, again, just kind of knead it, the balls of your finger. Remember, this is not a therapeutic type of massage that you would have to go to a trained specialist for. This is something that you can do yourself, and you're going to get to feel what your dog likes. So I'm coming down to the top of her shoulder blades. And then I'm, again, maintaining that circular motion. And then I'm doing that circular motion on either side of her spine, all the way down. And as I get near her hips, I lighten up a little bit. There could be a little sensitivity by her hips. So it's just on top, all the way down, circular on either side of the spine. And then once I get to the hip, I'm going to just, with palm of my hand, nice You can go clockwise, or actually I go counterclockwise, I think, on this. And a couple of circles, and then begin to, again with the balls, knead in there a little bit. Start to feel that muscle. Move my knee away so you can see. And feel the muscle in there. Just kind of knead that. And then I'm going to grab the knee. Now I'm not going to go on top. The knee is, that's the weak link in most dogs. So we're not going to press on that knee, but we're going to go on either side and feel the different textures in there and the way the bones are in there. Always making sure that we're getting feedback from our dogs that they're okay with this and they're comfortable with this. If they're not, do not force. Never, never, never force this. I'm going to take and knee the thigh, the inner thigh. Get that muscle there. Gently stretch the leg out. Run my hand all the way down and to the feet, if your dog likes their feet. Not all dogs like their feet being touched. Then I'm going to take my hand up and do the same thing here on the shoulder. Round and around. And then begin to go knead in a little bit deeper. Sort of outlining the bone, the scapula here, outlining that bone with the fleshy part of my fingers, never the tips. Giving her a nice rub. Coming down, doing behind here, all the way down. Now, when it's time to flip, now Bhakti knows already to flip because we've been doing this for many years. But usually with your dog, you'll take your hand and you'll just take their bottom legs and sort of gently flip them over. And we start it again. From the bridge of the nose, all the way down a few times. And then just start on the head again. And do the jaw muscle, the ear, behind the ears, back of the head and the neck. And as you're doing this, you want to pay attention to your breathing, because you really want to ground yourself. You don't want to be thinking about your agenda for later in the day, or remembering a conversation you had yesterday, or what are you going to make for lunch, or things like that. You want to be real connected and present with them at this moment. So I like to almost feel as if what I'm doing to her, I'm also doing to me. So as I'm going down her back, I'm feeling it on myself. I'm experiencing it, engaging with it, the same thing that I would experience engaging myself. And then down again, nice circular motion on the hip. Outline the bone, dig in a little deeper. Get that thigh, really knead it. There's a lot of muscle here, so you really want to just work that. The knee on either side, be very gentle on that knee. And if you can, all the way down to the foot. Back up. Same thing on the shoulder. Really work that muscle in there. Again, getting the feedback. And here's something too. Now again, I'm talking during this because I'm showing it to you, and I'm going rather quickly. But there are a few things. As I mentioned, you want to be very focused in the present. So really get that feel of your dog, feel the textures and the hills and the valleys and the shapes and their whole landscape of their body, as if you're having it done to yourself. And something else too, and I think I violated some of that as we were talking, you never want to lose contact. So if I have to switch hands, I'm going to touch first and then move my other hand away later. You don't want to break contact. That's not a good thing to do. And then get the shoulder all the way up. And take your time with it. And then once they get on their back, you get stuck. You do the chest, and you can kind of outline the ribs. Come out, outline those rib cages, sometimes with both hands. From the top, all the way down, outlining the ribs. And then you want to go on the belly. And you want to go clockwise on the belly because that's the direction of the blood flow and circulate and digestion. So nice, long, clockwise, slow. And spend as much time as you want doing this. Now you can end with another, resting your hand on their rib cage. and feeling their breath. Feeling your breath. I often end with a hug and a kiss and tell her what a good girl she is. And it's a great thing to do. It's not only healthy for them because you're stimulating all that blood flow in their bones and their joints. You get to just know them intimately. I found lumps and bumps on her that my vet wouldn't have normally found because they're not going to be as thorough, and they can't be. They don't have the time in those short exams. And I get to know every reaction that she has. So there was a time when she had sprained her, I guess it was one of her legs. I noticed when I touched there it was a little different than usual. I never would have known that if I hadn't been doing this. Also, you'll really get to know your dog's heat signatures. You'll feel the different places on them that give off different heat and even energy. You don't need special training for that. Just get out of your head for a moment and just connect with them, and you can feel this. Anybody can do this. This is not magic. This is nothing special. And the more you get to know and be connected with your dog, the closer you'll be, the better friends you'll be, the healthier you'll be, the happier you'll be. And why not? They're here with us for such a short amount of time. So we really want to get connected to them well. So I recommend that you try this and go slow. Not every dog when you first start this is going to want the whole body. Bodhi, if you've seen Bodhi on the other ones, took him a long time before I was able to get his full body there. And a long time. So never rush it. Just do what they're comfortable with and stop. And the more you do it, the more comfortable they'll become. And even if they're not, even if they just like their head and maybe their shoulders done, that's wonderful. That's perfect. You don't need to ever go beyond that. So just go with whatever's important to you and your dog, and do it together as friends. All right. I will see you guys next time on the next Mindful Mutt Moments. Have a great day. Thanks.